Hey guys, welcome back to Last Word Sports. This is going to be my preview for the Chiefs game coming up, Monday Night Football, Chiefs versus Jags. Alright guys, so we had the 49ers game happen. Overall defense, I really can't believe with how the turnovers are going. It's a little scary because this 3 turnovers a game thing is not something that is really sustainable. So I wonder when it will end. Probably this game with the Chiefs. They don't really turn the ball over that much. Patrick hasn't been great this year so far, but he did have a big game against the Ravens last game. So we're kind of catching him on a high right now. But anyway, with that being said about the defense, they're kind of a bend but don't break. Letting them drive down the field and stopping them for field goals. So I do think that this Chiefs O-line is better than that 49ers offensive line, and the weapons on the Chiefs are a little better. McCaffrey's good, but you could tell he was limited by the line and other weapons on the 49ers. So on the defensive side, they played a great game. I don't expect them to play as well against the Chiefs, but if you just make your tackles, I think for this Chiefs team, don't miss your tackles. They like to get their players into yak positions. And so if you can just make your tackles, you're going to be all right. Another thing about this is, looking at the offense, I'll just get right into it. For the offense, it's still struggling. I was really harsh on Trevor after his keeping the ball in bounds on that end of the first half play, throwing it to Etienne. They had to run up and spike it. That was almost a loss of 3 points right there. That, if it's a rookie quarterback, you can say, okay, he's going to learn from that. But this is his 5th year in the league, and there's no excuse as of, his O-line or, his receivers, whoever. You can't do that. You're in your 5th year in the league. What are you doing? Goodness gracious. So I think that was definitely something that really made me be I think Trevor is what he is. What I'm hoping for is for quarterbacks who are kind of mid, they'll have a game where they explode. And I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe it's this one where he erupts for a few touchdowns. I don't know. But on that offensive side, it's still struggling a little bit. It's moving down the field, but it stalls. And, BTJ made catches, but then he didn't get both feet down. I'm what are you doing, dude? And I know Liam Cohen said he doesn't want to move Travis Hunter around, but to be honest, maybe this is a situation where the roles are just not right for where they have them. I don't know. It's weird because BTJ doesn't want to go across the middle of the field. Basically, all of his catches in this game were out routes. So if he wants, I would say maybe Hunter should be more of the X, with BTJ moving more in the slot, because that's where we saw BTJ work pretty well of last year. He was good in the X as well, so that wasn't an issue for him last year. But this year, maybe that is where we could see this. Okay, Travis Hunter is actually better outside, and BTJ is better inside. But the thing is, BTJ is not really going across the middle, so that might cause some issues. But just because I want to see Hunter get more involved. And I wonder if it's just right now we have them misplaced. I don't know, but Liam said he's not going to move Hunter around. Hunter's just going to play that slot receiver role. And it kind of sucks because if you watch Hunter, he's not going down the field. He's doing these little choice routes. And, it sucks because he's not a huge part of the offense, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to get him there. I'm hoping so because you spent a high first-round pick on him. And I'm not saying here's the thing about Hunter. I'm not saying this is his fault. I think he's a good player. I'm just really hoping that, I hope you guys have a plan to accelerate his growth and enlarge his role in the offense. If not, then I think that's a little bit of egg on your face, and you're going to have to fix that next year. But these people who are saying, wow, what a bust of a pick. Wow, blah, 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 blah. I can't believe I took him this high in my fantasy draft. Okay, shut up. You don't know what you're doing. We don't need to use sports betting and fantasy football for actual football analysis. It's very annoying. So offensively, I think I would be interested to see how Hunter plays outside at the X position. And I think it might allow BTJ to get, more accustomed to the middle of the field. I don't know. But as far as running backs go as well, Etienne, I know he had a good game, and people are really high on him, like, you got to pay him now. You got to pay him now. Same thing with Devin Lloyd. You got to pay him now. Don't pay him. Especially, so for Devin Lloyd, that one's a little interesting. I want to see how the rest of this year plays out. I don't know if you guys listen to Pete Prisco on Jags Happy Hour, but he had a good point. Let the rest of the year play out, because if he has a back half of the year where he's busting coverages or whatever, then you got to think hard about that, because you're going to give him, TJ Watt money, because that's in like the same pay bracket, I think, because he's technically a linebacker. So you're going to have to be paying him all this money, and he's probably not worth it at that rate. But if he keeps this up, you can try and bring Devin Lloyd in, but I think the two rules of like who you pay, the two positions of where you don't overpay in the NFL is running back and linebacker. They wear down the easiest. They're very up and down. I mean, I remember when was it Devin White? Devin White was like an all-pro linebacker, and then the next year he was awful, and the Bucs ultimately moved on from him. So, like, this linebackers are up and down players a lot of times. You can look at Fred Warner, and he's not up and down. You can look at Bobby Wagner, and he's still playing at a high level. But the thing is, those guys started out good and have stayed good. This whole starting out bad and playing well, maybe you can look at where Campanile came from the Packers. Their linebackers started out bad, but since then they've been like, Pro Bowl, all pros, So maybe it's just that Campanile bump, but they've kept it up since he left. So maybe Devin Lloyd is actually this good. These things that we're seeing him around the ball. Some of those interceptions are just right place, right time. But the second pick on Purdy and then the one against the Bengals, those are actually good coverage interceptions. So you're kind of torn of like, okay, is this like repeatable stuff? And so in this case, I say wait and see for Devin Lloyd. I'd be more interested in bringing him back. Etienne, from what I've seen, nothing's changed my mind. I don't think you bring him back, even if he keeps going like this and has like 1,300 yards on the season. He's a running back, and also for the runs that he does, the touchdown run this week was the first time that I was just like, that was special because of that move he puts on the safety. Every run besides that has kind of been like, I feel like Tootin would have done the same thing, but probably would have done it quicker. Tootin's got a little bit more juice. And it's not like Etienne has better vision than Tootin. Maybe a little bit, but not that significant. And Tootin's way better at breaking tackles. So the whole Etienne thing, love Etienne. Hope he keeps this up. But at the end of the year, I'm not bringing him back. Hope he does well wherever he goes. So, yeah. I also think it's weird that we have these prolific offensive players in Hunter, BTJ, Tootin, Etienne, Strange, but like the touchdown from Trevor is thrown to Hunter Long, and I get it. That's a play action. I get it. You throw it to the second backup tight end. They're least expecting. That's great. I get that. It worked. And then on the third down, when we needed the first down, did the same thing. Backup tight end, right there, worked. But there was a 3rd and like 12 or something like that in second quarter, I think, where I think they have Etienne go out left or Parker Washington go out left, and mid motion, they turn right and throw a wide receiver screen to Tim Patrick with, I don't know, like Strange and BTJ blocking or something like that. And like, listen, Tim Patrick, I like Tim Patrick. I was happy when they signed him because I think he's a really good glue guy, wide receiver, dirty work, good at blocking, all that jazz. But I'm like, you have two guys who thrive at the wide receiver screen. You have BTJ, who did it well last year with Mac Jones, and then you have Travis Hunter, who that was one of his whole shticks coming in from how he performed with wide receiver screens at college. You have these two guys who thrive in that position, and you throw it to your slowest wide receiver in Tim Patrick. I was like, what are you doing? Like, he kind of fetishizes this use of role players more than I like. And it worked out with Hunter Long, the touchdowns, whatever. But like that, it makes sense there. It's play action, whoever play action to when they have those over routes, play action to Tim Patrick makes sense. You don't expect the fourth receiver on the team to be when he's out there and he's a big guy. You're like, oh, he's just blocking. But when he goes out for a pass and he catches it, for 20 yards, makes sense. But a wide receiver screen to that guy doesn't make sense. So I think this is going to be a big screen game coming against the Chiefs. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. Last thing, I want to set the narrative for this Chiefs game. Overall, 49ers game, I think we all know defense played great. Offense has some kinks to work out, but overall, I will say that touchdown drive by Trevor Lawrence that ended with the touchdown to Hunter Long. I was very critical of Trevor this game, but when you go back and watch that drive, you're like, man, that was impressive because he had that third down pass deep in his own end zone to Travis Hunter on like 13. That was it was a little high, but it got there, and it was a great catch by Travis, don't get me wrong. And then he converted like two other third down passes, one across the middle to Brenton Strange, and then the other one to the right to Brenton Strange. Like, these were good plays that franchise quarterbacks make. And I went back and watched it. I'm like, if we can just get that more often, maybe he's starting to hit a rhythm, but if we get that more often, that's the guy we paid. So then moving on to this Chiefs game. I think this year is very much representing to me, 2022? So we come off that season where we beat the Chargers in the playoffs and we lose to the Chiefs, and we have all this momentum, and we're like, when we come into next year, we're like, all right, offense looked good, defense was a little sketch, but they were making splash plays, but they were kind of getting beat down the field. Offense were moving the ball against us. It's just we were getting kind of these splash plays a little bit. So we're like, okay, this next year, offense is going to take off, and the defense is going to be slow coming around to it. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like the first 8 weeks, we were kind of, what were we? What was it, 7-2? I don't know. We were playing the Ravens for first in the AFC. And up until that point, the offense had not been clicking. And but the defense had been playing well. And we were kind of like, wow, you can just tell there's like these misses. Guys are not in the right position, but once they are, this offense is going to start clicking. And we're like, the defense is already working, so when the offense starts clicking, just imagine how good we'll be. And we went up against the Ravens like, all right, here we are. This is the moment for us to take over the AFC. First seed in the AFC if we beat the Ravens. Monday Night Football, and was it Sunday night? I think it was Sunday Night Football. Might have been Monday. It doesn't matter. And we get absolutely pantsed. That was one of the stupidest fumbles I've ever seen by Trevor Lawrence. He's running, and just drops the ball. Lamar Jackson had a field day with us. It was disgusting. And that year, the offense never clicked. And it was all these like little things as well. It was like penalties, drops, wrong places for the receivers. Like they didn't know where they were going. Or like if Trevor just had like a second more, he would have completed that pass. It was like little things like, but they're going to get there. Like these are just the beginning strides. And the defense fell off at the second half, and the offense never clicked. And that first half that we had, won dirty games didn't continue in the second half, and we ended up missing the playoffs. And I think this is really, we're seeing this pattern with Liam. And I said it in my 49ers video where we're seeing a guy take a team who has suffered through these embarrassing losses and these embarrassing trends, haven't beaten the Texans in Jacksonville in however many years. Did we play them in Jacksonville this year, or was that Houston? I think that was, it was in Jacksonville. Yeah, okay. We haven't beaten Houston in Jacksonville in 7 years, something like that. And we beat them. it's just like, okay, wow. And then it's just like, well, we've never beaten the 49ers in San Fran, and we haven't beaten the 49ers since like 2005. Like, I don't know. And we go and we beat them. These trends, these, things that people look like, oh, well, they haven't beaten them so and so. And now we haven't beaten the Chiefs in, I don't know, since like 2011 or something like that. We have not beaten them since that, like, forever ago. And then also, this is a time where, okay, this is where the Jaguars normally would wet the bed when it's time for them to really establish themselves. And this is where it's an opportunity for Liam to take that trend and, break another one. Because so far he's done it. My doubts of, I don't know if we're going to be able, because we always lose to Texans in Jacksonville, and he beat them. And then we always lose to San Fran in San Fran. Well, we always lose in San Fran, period. And they beat them. And so now it's like, okay, you're going up against the Chiefs. This is normally a game that the Jaguars would, even the Doug Peterson Jags get hyped for, and like, oh, we're going to go establish ourselves, and then we'd lose and we would play horrible. Defense actually would show up decently. When Doug Peterson's team played the Chiefs, the defense would show up, and the offense would just couldn't get it going. Now, Spags is a good D coordinator, but it was always disappointing when that would happen. So I think this is really an opportunity, and it's tough for me to say that I see this team winning just because it's like, I think with this defense has been very opportunistic, and I don't know if the turnovers are going to continue in this game. I would bet against it. But I think Trevor's got to kind of have a big day here. I think they're going to try. I remember when we played the Chiefs in the playoffs with Trevor, they said, we're going to take away ETN and make him throw the ball. I remember Jags fans were like, that's fine with us. I mean, Trevor's, on a heater right now. He's been doing great. And the offense stalled against the Chiefs that game. And it was really, it wasn't awful. Offense was playing okay, but it was, you could tell we were missing that run factor. So I think they're going to take away the run, and they're really going to put it on Trevor. This game, I think they're going to come out almost like the Texans did, and they're going to say, we are not letting ETN beat us or Tootin. Trevor's going to have to make some big-time throws. BTJ is going to have to catch the dang ball and get both feet in. And Liam's going to have to use Travis Hunter. Might be a big game for Brenton Strange. I don't know. I've been thinking about Brenton Strange having a big game for a while now, but I think it's going to be a big screen game day. So keep an eye on that for the wide receiver screens. So for setting the stage for this Monday Night Football game, it's time to keep the trend going of breaking trends. This is if we win this game, this is a complete shift where we can beat anybody. And we've already had that mindset of, hey, I know Liam said like any day, anytime, anyone. Doesn't matter. But once we beat the Chiefs, we now have the confidence, hey, we're okay to take on the Rams. We're okay to take on, I don't know, who's next after that? I don't know, but we're okay to take on whoever. Bring them on. We might lose, but we know we can beat anybody if we're on our good day. So, final score for this game, I think it'll be like 27-24 Chiefs, to be honest. I think it'll be tough for us to win this game. I just think Patrick Mahomes will find a way. Another thing to keep in mind is, if Mahomes is doing that little sideline thing where he gets close to the sideline and picks up a few extra yards tiptoeing, light him up. Make him take that 15-yarder. I don't care. Make him feel you. And I don't want to see any Jags DB getting flattened by him. If he's going near the sideline, take the 15-yard penalty. Light him the frick up. I know in these past few games, I don't know if you've noticed, Devin Lloyd, he's having a great year. He's also been kind of playing that QB spy. When Purdy got out of the pocket, he was there. I think C.J. Stroud happened actually before too. But Devin Lloyd's been like that QB spy for these quarterbacks to get out. So I'm excited to see, like, can he keep up with Mahomes? And if Mahomes gets out, is he going to level him? Lloyd's not been a big hit kind of guy, but listen, if he's got the opportunity, lay the freaking wood. I can't. Don't let him get those few yards. Don't let him flatten you, putting the shoulder down, because he's doing it more. Lay him out. So like I said, 27-24 Chiefs is my prediction. But I hope Jags can win. I think they can win. It's going to have to take a big day from Trevor. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your keys to victory are. I'm kind of interested to see how other Jags fans feel about this game. Do you think they need to run the ball more? Do you anticipate Chiefs shutting that down? Do you think this receiver, X receiver, gets a big game? Whoever. Let me know what your keys to victory are, what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you guys next time.